They'll be calling you a radical. Kevin Blanch here. As you know, I shot these videos. I'm documenting the Great Western Basin drought, the Western United States epic drought. As I did that video 3 years ago, the only time that the jetty has ever been shot, video content in its existence since it was built at the exact level. I did that whole series. That was 3 years ago right now. As you know, I was in the bone marrow transplant at LDS, had this on my mind. And why? I stood right here when it was built. Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Boozenbark, those are my uncles. Abe's my grandpa. And so I got to meet Smithson right here. But the whole gig, I'm going to talk about the Great Western Drought. I'm talking about Fukushima, about the historical nation. Now that all your fear porn's gone fucking bye-bye, you can actually have a logical conversation about what you should be afraid of. Cancer, this Great Western Drought, the epic catastrophe of Fukushima, as they fear porned us into the same dynamic as, you know, she's writing these books right in Utah. The world's coming to an end. Yesterday was the blood moon. Now that, you know, Jade Helm, all this thing is you just feed the beast. You feed the fucking economy of fear. I'm going to talk about this right here, these iconic pieces as art records history. I'm going to talk about this right here. I'll shoot a couple of these. Look how dramatic. That's in 3 years. I think it's such a thumbprint to ecologically document the Great Western Drought. Why? Because so much water. I'm going to talk about why Smithson did this, what he was up to. Look, right over here behind, as the raven flies, and I'm not a raven, but my mother was, as it flies across, I don't live that far from here. The old causeway that I grew up right there by, they used to call it the 8th wonder around here, built with the California redwood sequoias as Stanford kills Utes, cut them down. They tore it out and put a ballast one in. So the natural flow, they have a big dam right here, the natural flow that used to flow all the way out of Idaho right here, they dammed it. They took it out. So the natural flow doesn't happen, so it turns red. Jetty flew, Smithson had flown over and seen, he was all about that film. He was all about that tripped out film. That's what he was about, that's what he was into. Now, by the way, his wife, Nancy, who did the sun tunnels, you know, on the board at the MoMA, she saw, you know, she's passed now. But it's, you know, he was anti, you know, anti museum. Why? I'm fighting for my life. You know, why they did this presentation at the University of Utah, Stanford kills Utes, that fucking joke that they've evolved into. They built this road out here. I fought against, you used to have to walk the last couple miles so they could corky it out, turn it into fucking lunacy fuckingville like they do everything else. The significance of the fucking great piece of art. So, look how dramatic. And I don't think the camera will do justice. I'll step it off, but that's a long fucking ways, I can tell you. But when he flew over, he seen how red the lake went because the natural flow. I mean, there's some dramatic. Noah has some really great photos of this side of the lake green, that red. I grew up right there on that spot. So I'm going to make a piece of art out here. I want to, you know, help out here. As you know, the great artist in San Diego made this for me. Lori, you know, we do those under the pier, you know, hung out to dry. Want to make sure I wear it. And, you know, Eric Oppenheim, Tom Blewett, you great artists in New York, I really hope you show up on Halloween at 10 a.m. in front of the Unnatural History Museum to do, it's going to be an important piece of art I do. I would really hope you're there, Eric. It's important, Tom. It's important for a lot of reasons why you're there, you know. Remember I used to wear this? And people, you know, dogma'd me. That was because the chemo burned through the top of my head when I was in LDS, Bone Marrow Transplant Center. So, I'll do this piece right here, and I'm going to talk about why. I mean, it's all about Fukushima, the heat source that's been coming out. I have some really great photos of the jetty in this piece. But, as you know, that's what this is all about. Now, I made this in 1988, and they've been trying to frame me ever since. Those guys in Canada tried to frame me. Everybody's trying, you know, I got a show coming up, and the curator's been telling me he wants to frame some of my art. And I said, no, I hang my art on a clothesline, like me. You know, so they're not framing me. You know, those videos I did when I was in critical condition, you knew with the frame. They're not going to frame me. You know, it's not going to happen. I said, leave them unframed, all of them. You know, you can put the frames as the actual art next to it. So I'm working on a piece right here. got some wind. Got a lot of wind. Now you know this is my iconic piece. 1994. The nuclear vagina, nuclear triangle, out of the subconscious. All, you know, completely 100% improv. So I'm going to with tomato soup. Now this is important. Stay with me, you fainting goats. You know, you fucking Kool-Aid drinking, and I'll be protesting in front of the mail because no, you know, they're discriminating against me. This is from the New York Times, Wednesday, August 12th. Now remember what was going on right there, the 7th anniversary of not Little Boy and Fat Man. Right over there, flew out of there. You know I do so much work there. But not only that, the meltdown was going on in the restart up at Sendai at the exact same time. This is how they play. This is sick. So I'm going to cut this out right here. You know, I'll make another video so we get all this. You know, and I don't want to be neat. You know how I am with my neat shit. Fuck your neat shit. So, okay, my tomato soup. Oh, yeah. I got some stories I'm going to tell in the next video about this spot that you'll blow your mind. So we'll use it for glue. Kids, just like when you're a little fucking kid. This shit, I don't know what's in it, but I've been painting with it on everything and it don't come out. And I'm going to glue it right here in this painting. God, we don't want to cover that up. Well, we better cut that more. That's too much. Okay, yeah. I don't want to cover up that painting. Sorry about that, kids. You know, remember when you did this when you was a little kid? Ooh, I just stripped some fucking tomato soup on the painting. There we go, there we go. Okay, that's enough. Get off there, Bobby. All right. Sweet cherry wine. Oh yeah, love it. There we go. Perfect. That shit'll glue on there like fucking kryptonite. There it is. All right, as I live to tell. Oh yeah, the camera's still going. Good, good, good. Ain't that long of a video. It's amazing how I get going on my rants. These guys camped out here. They wanted to get some photos. Their photographers wanted to get some photos of the blood moon last night. We didn't get. We got a little bit of clouds, so you know it wasn't anything. That's fucking great. I love that fucking New York Times. What a fucking joke they are. Huh? But how dramatic. Wow, I'm going to step it off and walk out there. My God, how dramatic. To all the great, real environmental activists and info artists, you know, Jan, Miss Milky the Clown did great work. I mean, Lori down there in San Diego. You know, like I said, we'll do that really iconic piece on Halloween at 10 o'clock on the steps of the Natural History Museum. Be there. You can be in a very important piece of art. It's going to be a very important part. And I think I actually have media that's going to cover it, believe it or not. Big media. You know, as long as I don't talk about Fukushima, you know, they say they'll show up, but don't use the F word. Helen Caldecott said so. By the way, Helen Caldecott, Chris Busby, Harney Gunderson, all those people are not environmentalists and they're not anti-nuclear. Freedom Eisenblau, she's anti-nuclear. Mothers for Peace, they're anti-nuclear. There's a crowd around here that's really anti-nuclear. Down there, you know, so. Wow, how dramatic, huh? Oh my God. Wow, 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 wow. The only video ever shot where the water was in. And see how the sand's up on that jetty? Because the water usually washes it off. It may never be here again. What an epic, epic drought. The driest lake's been in millions of years, not just, you know, this was ancient Lake Bonneville. You know, there's a great pass where it all flowed right through over here. They dammed it. You know, the whole thing used to flow through here. Wow. Wow. As I shot those videos exactly 3 years ago right now, you saw them. That's, you know, and I've been talking to Moma about those videos. You know, I'm going to sell them to them. But they're paying, because that's the only one ever shot at the real ever, besides, of course, Smithson's beautiful, iconic red film. Boy, he was tripped out that day, huh? So sad that he died right after. He hated museums, hated them. But I'm going to sell them that footage, and they're going to pay, I'm thinking about $3 million each. Stand tuned. Wow. You know, you can go back into your fear porn, but now we can talk about the reality. Fukushima giving you cancer, the great Western ecological catastrophe that we're in. This is the thumbprint. And I don't know if that Smithson ever hypothesized that how important this piece would be as far as documenting the great Western drought, which, you know my thesis, Fukushima, heat source coming over there, pushing a bubble. You know, everybody can argue me, I did the work. I walked the entire one. I documented the dead whales, the starving, playing volleyball at Pismo on fucking dead birds. I won't stop there, taking selfies with dead sperm whales. What's that? You know, the dead pines. I don't see any. You're all right. So, maybe I'll talk these kids into being this piece of art with me. These guys, kids, I say, they're grown men, but I'm an old timer. So, important. Wow, dramatic. And by the way, when you drive out here, I can't get anybody to come out here. It's not that far, and there's a road. I fought against the road. You just have to walk. It was underwater for 20 years. So, but the vistas you get across here will take your breath away. And I'm telling you, it's, I mean, you can do, oh, I mean, on the way, I know all these little roads and these nooks and crannies. It take, what's that old line? In the desert, if it takes you less than 3 times to find it, ain't worth finding. I got spots that took me hundreds of times to find. You know, so I spent a lot of my life out here. And as far as donations go, remember this, the last guy who donated me that $75, I want you to, hopefully you can comment on this video that that money's what paid for my gas to get out here. So you're a piece of this art. It's important stuff, very important. And I'll list these sets of videos. Wow, it's dramatic. You know, the desert's not blooming anymore. Wow. How dramatic. And that's much further than you think. I'll step it off, but whoa, 3 years ago it was right here at that edge. You see that. Stand tuned.